all 6 of our viewers off.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, well, it's 7:02, I'm gonna go ahead and call our meeting to order. We'll figure out technology as we go. First item is stand and say pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Alright, first item on the agenda after that is now October minutes and November claim docket. Has everybody had a chance to review those and have any questions?
I have reviewed the October minutes and November claim dockets, and I make a motion that they stand.
I did have one question on air compressor. Did we buy a new one, replace an old one?
The one at the county garage burned out,
Okay.
and Pete needed one to blow the lines out at the shelter house at the end of the year, and that one's not portable anyhow. The one he's got's got wheels on it now, so he took it down there to use it.
Okay, very good.
I had a quick question for Jenny on the riverboat wagering.
Mm-hmm.
It's just my own curiosity, it's no big deal. Is that, do we get to like monthly or is that like?
No, it's like in every October, I believe, or November.
Oh,
We
okay.
just get one.
One shot at it,
Yeah.
okay. That's what Doug kinda figured too, but I just thought I'd ask. Thank you. I'll second John's motion to accept.
Alright, we have a first and second motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Minutes and claim docket accepted. Old business, I have parking on State Road 39. Not sure what we had left to talk about. I know last time we talked about the painting the yellow, which they have.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to have made a little difference for me when I've interacted with that intersection now.
We eliminated that one parking space and then painted both curves on both sides of the road the yellow. So far, people are adhering to it for the most part. Still have some complaints about not enough parking. And that's from the shop owner across the street. Not much we can do.
Okay. We did bring up a couple of brainstorm ideas for parking last month. Has anybody come up with anything different in the time span to maybe other ideas about what we might do?
I wasn't there, so what was your brainstorm?
So some of the ideas that we'd had were, that empty lot by the, on the north side of the post office, seeing if there was a way we could get involved in converting that to a parking space. And then Leanne also mentioned actually building a sidewalk along Michigan Road on the south side, but on the north side of the business. So we were gonna look into that. And then at one point, the business owner, Cindy, and her husband actually approached the property owner for this house across the street about potentially buying that house and then leveling it and putting a lot there. The business owner or the homeowner, according to Cindy, he was willing to sell her the place, but he wanted a statement that said, you won't tear down the house.
Won't what?
Tear down the house. You'll leave the house standing as is.
Oh.
That was his stipulation on selling at a good price, according to her report to me. Any other thoughts on parking on State Road 39?
Do we have an idea when they're gonna open, their shops for business or anything?
I don't know of a date that's been told. I know that it's called the Gypsy Room. They've already made a Facebook page, and they have on there coming soon, but they don't have a date of projected opening.
And see how their business goes, and then analyze the level of need. I suppose would be a good idea.
Okay, anything else on parking on State Road 39? Alright, let's move on to the next business news, sewer rate for businesses. Jenny, I think you have.
Yeah, we didn't, it was 8213, I believe, and we were gonna change that before we adopted the sewer rate ordinance to just a plain 82, and we didn't do it. So, with Graham not here, I don't know whether we'll have to do like an addendum to it. But we've got until March, because the sewer rate doesn't go up until March, I believe, is what the ordinance said, either February or March.
March.
So
Okay.
Go ahead, Dan,
February
sorry.
bill. It'll be February on the March bill.
Right.
So I think it makes sense to get rid of the 13 cents. There's no,
Yeah,
other than just a bookkeeping nightmare.
yeah, thank you.
Well, while you're on sewer rates for businesses, I was just wondering, nothing against them, cause I go to it, but I know the Clayton Church sewer bill is only the same as a residential rate bill, which there's quite a few people that go to and use that facility compared to residential people where maybe there are only one or two people that hardly use the sewer compared. So I was always wondering why they weren't considered a business, because you have a lot of people that attend the churches, that they should be paying the business rate, not a residential rate.
You talking about Clayton Christian Church?
That's the only,
They all pay residential.
they all pay residential.
Cause we wanna go to heaven.
Well, no, nothing against it. I go there too, but it's not like they couldn't pay it, put it that way. I know it was probably implemented years ago when we was doing it, but now that they've got so large, they use probably a lot of sewerage rate going down to the sewer plant. Now it's just something I'm putting out there, whether it would have to be a unanimous
Yeah,
thing.
then do we make it for all nonprofits, or do we just, how do we categorize what passing that, I mean, changing it, or making
Yeah.
it something, so.
Well, and I guess we would have to know, is this a standard in the state? I mean, do other towns
Yeah.
charge churches a
Yeah.
residential fee versus a commercial
Yeah.
or industrial business fee, or I don't know. So maybe we could ask our
Yeah,
municipal
we got time to talk about it.
advisor on what.
I would, there's like my only concern was like say compared to 1,000 people compared to 2 people, this one here pays the same as 2 people, and it's gonna be tough enough when the rate goes up anyhow, so.
Alright, we can look into that, and maybe I can email our municipal advisor and just ask them what their understanding of billing a church is. Is it consistent throughout the state that that's treated as a resident or a business? So I can do that. Anything else on new sewer rate for businesses? Alright, next item is our Small Town America, the STACVA discussion. Small Town America Civic Volunteer Award. We nominated Marlene Stagey for the Mill Creek Christian Support Center as our volunteer for the year. We got a message back from them that our nominee was not chosen to receive an award. However, they did part of the process of, if we'd gotten an award, they would have given us, a free marketing type website to encourage volunteerism for the next year, and,
For use of it, if we were gonna go that route, I mean, and they have different levels too, you don't have to have the all-in-one platform piece that they use, you can buy like certain services that they offer, and one is the web platform, which looked a little nicer and easier to use, just up front than what we're currently doing. And I think it might be beneficial to look further into that, because, I know that it would be better for us to have probably access for everyone here to go in and be able to access certain areas of the website and post and create their own content if needed, rather than having me do it. The site we have now has that ability, but for me to train someone to go in and do all that, make it easy, it's a little complicated. So that's why I haven't kind of ventured out to having anyone do that. But I think it's something worthy of looking into. But I do know that if we intend to do that, we should budget some more money for our internet presence. But I do think if we did do that, it might be a benefit. So we should probably discuss how we want to utilize our internet presence, and the Facebook piece that we're doing, which you're doing a fantastic job on, by the way, when you post things, Doug. We would probably want to decide whether we want to concentrate and steer everyone to our town site rather than on Facebook, and make just Facebook basically a feed of our town site, and then we steer people to our town site for use and for the contests and surveys and things that we have. So something I think we should look into.
utility payments.
Utility payments. Yeah.
Sure.
That's about all I have on it right now. It does need some further review, and they had a piece with their site where they will go and analyze your site, and I asked them to do that to see how accessible they thought it was, and they'll give you a rating. Sure, it's probably going to be spun, be a little biased, but I haven't gotten that report back from them yet. I did that a couple days ago, so that's. I'll let you know. We can table that and then maybe have some more discussions about it. And as I get more information on it, I'll pass it along, or we can have a demonstration done kind of remotely if anybody wants to attend.
Did you get a feeling for how much change of a budget we'll need to go this route?
I'm thinking maybe 2 times more than what we're paying right now a year budgeting, or maybe 2.5, something in that area. So I think we're budgeting around $1,200 a year, so we may need to go up to almost 3. But it's going to improve a lot of. If we do it right, it's going to improve a lot of time where Jenny's answering phone questions because people are looking for information. She won't be bothered with that anymore. She can steer them to the website and they'll easily click and find it. Or she could actually interact with them on the website, so she doesn't have to take that phone call or things like that. It also looked like there were things where she could send these type of documents to us ahead of time. I didn't see where it had an email service, and that was kind of vague. If the fee comes out and has an email service behind the web service, then it might be worth it easily. Whereas we're paying 2 separate fees now, one for our internet service and one for our mail service. So those are just some things we have to weigh out and compare.
Okay, any other questions for Dave on our internet and this?
Yeah, Dave, you said that, or I think you said, Doug, that it said something about a 50%
Right.
savings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that, what is that, just like a one-time
they were-
startup fee?
Yeah, they were giving us a cut on their startup fee, which was kind of expensive, and they were cutting that back from $8,000 to $4,000 for a
Okay.
startup fee. And the nice thing about that's the startup fee. So that's going to be a one-time set up and get it all planned out kind of expense. And then there would be a yearly fee or monthly fee, which you probably would roll into a yearly kind of one bill to pay every year. And you won't encumber that startup fee again. So we also got, I think, a discount on the monthly fee for the first year or two too.
Okay.
So, just like all businesses, they'll do that, you know, and then throw you a little more later on down the road.
Yeah.
So it's just something we all have to be worried about, and then find out what exactly our costs would be down the road
Right.
after we commit to it.
All right, any other questions? So we can be thinking about who we want to nominate again next year. Every year they do this, and the nominations usually are due in August. So nominations for this type of volunteer can be anybody from fire departments or police departments, the food pantry, can be people on the planning and zoning advisory board, board of zoning appeals, any area that's benefiting our town that is a volunteer can be nominated for this. So be thinking about, if you have a person or some people related to that. I mean, if you have some exceptional volunteers at the station or, whatever things might apply on our different boards and whatnot. Okay, moving on to our new business. We have a guest here from the Daughters of the American Revolution,
Yes.
Rhonda Beck. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to come and speak. And I'm with the Wapaki Way chapter of Daughters of the American Revolution. We're in Hendricks County. We're out of Danville, Avon area. And if you're not familiar with Daughters of the American Revolution, it's the oldest women's organization in the country. We just celebrated 130 years, founded on patriotism, education, and historic preservation. And those principles still ring true today. A lot of our work is done with not only children and seniors and conservation, but a main focus on our military and our veterans. And what I'm here to speak to tonight is we started a pilot program. We started back in 2019, and we launched it in Avon, Brownsburg, Danville, and Plainfield, whereby we would market military banners to the public, and then the towns would put those on their streetlight poles. The response was just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, once those banners went up, we advertised it and we put it out there, but still there's some people that didn't see it. So as soon as those banners went up, people started calling and wanting to know how they could get them, and when we started in the 4 towns, we started with the larger towns, they wanted to go in some of the smaller communities. So we had a waiting list, and we kept getting calls and so forth. So we went ahead and started earlier this year, and we had permission not only in those towns, but we also have in North Salem and Pittsboro, and I'm speaking to Amo and Claremont here soon too. So I'm coming here tonight to ask your permission to market these military banners in Clayton. The chapter does all the work. We market them. We collect the money. It is a fundraiser for us. We're a nonprofit 501c, so any money that we make goes immediately back into our communities that we, service and so forth. And the banners sell for $110, so we are making a small profit on it. They are quite a bit cheaper than in a lot of communities. When we did our research, a lot of them sold for $350. Some were selling for $250 with a picture on one side of one person and a picture on the other side of someone else. So they were getting $500 a banner. Our mission is to honor our military and our active service people. So we wanted to make it reasonable for families to be able to do that, and it served the purpose because we have people buying 9 and 5 and 4 banners, and we try to group those together. As I said, we do all the marketing, we collect the money. The D&E Printing out of Brownsburg does all the printing for us. We do all the proofing, we send it out to the people to make sure all the lettering is right, all the spelling. They are very heavy duty. They're, you know, we need the specifications because each town is slightly different. This handsome man is my father at age 17. But they are, oops, excuse me, on both sides. This year the design is a little bit different, and we have people coming back buying banners, repeating for the new one. And we would deliver all the banners when they come down. We ask that in most of the communities, or all the communities rather, they go up Memorial Day and then they stay up for a year. So it's kind of a win-win situation. We do all the legwork, it's honoring our military. It's a very emotional project for the families to be able to see their loved ones. So there was a lot of tears shed. Channel 59 and Channel 4 has done 3 segments on these banners. And then it's, you know, they're pleasing in the communities for people to see without a lot of work on your part. The only thing that we do ask of the communities is that all the bracket mechanisms be in place so that all the towns, the people purchasing them would be paying the same price, so that we don't have to charge for the, you know, the brackets or anything of that nature. And then in-kind services of the towns putting them up and then taking them down. But as I said, we deliver them to you, and then when they come down, we would pick them up. And then they go back to the families that they get to keep. And this is this year's design that would go up in 2021. I put a color because more of the recent pictures are in color. When you go back to Korean War and World War I, they're in black and white. We have a Civil War one this year that we're going to have.
On the banners, of course, I noticed you got your dad's picture on there. Say in Clayton, some of the people are around, they can get their picture.
It's their picture.
Yeah.
We'd ask for an original picture because it just prints better. You can see how big these are, and when you start
Yeah.
stretching a picture out, those pixels get a little distorted.
Yeah.
Some of them are a little blurry that we get, some of them are old. But you know, when you're looking at them 20 feet up in the air, or however high they are, they look much better than you're looking at them from 6 inches away. But yes, they provide the photo. And then we gave them a little gift last year where we made a picture of their banner, a 5x7, and gave it back to them.
Well, I guess my next question is, do you have a standard bracket that you like to put them on?
It's
Because I know
whatever-
every town's got them
Yes.
different. Because we got some banners now, and we got brackets for them, but some of them don't fit real good on those brackets. I didn't know.
We got the specifications, we'd kind of like to have it in writing
Yeah.
so that it's accurate. What a lot of the towns did this past year was they gave an invoice of when they had banners before, so that the specifications are correct for the printer when they make them.
So the banners that we'll get will be the same size as the banner stand,
Whatever you have
Hardware we
now,
got,
whatever
okay.
fits your poles. Like in Plainfield, I think they're 29 and a quarter by 61 and a half. And in North Salem, they're 18 inches by only about 4.5 to 5. So each town varies, so we just need your specifications. They do come, they have a slot on each end, and they do come with grommets, so that usually they put zip ties in them to kind of
Yeah.
make them a little bit more secure. And they're heavy duty vinyl. And then we do have them sign, it's not a contract, but it is a document that says, you know, all the information is correct. They have to be honorably discharged, for one thing.
Yeah.
And we do have them agree that they will not hold our chapter or the community responsible if there's wind damage, vandalism, theft, anything of that nature, and the banner comes down. It's no one's responsibility to replace it. So we do have them sign that so that you're not held, you know, harmless, or neither are we.
Yeah, because there's a possibility that we've got banner holders up now, but there's a possibility that we may need more banner holders if you've gotten more people that would like to have someone in their family's picture up there.
We
I
do
don't know
have
how
one
many-
person right now that said if we do come in Clayton and, you know, and usually that's the case when someone knows that we're going somewhere, you know, they start contacting us or then word of mouth gets out. And then I would work with, are you the person that does the Facebook and the town page or
Somebody down there. does.
somebody does?
I do
Okay,
the
you do,
Facebook,
okay.
yeah.
Then we would work with you, you know, put something on. A lot of times I just go to that town and ask to be accepted for their town, and then we put it on there. As a 501(c), we can't advertise for any dollar amounts because it's interstate, it can cross states. So what I've done, the first year we just advertised in the newspaper, and then everybody saw the banners. I mean, they were all in the community, so all we had to say was we're now taking orders, and just boom, we started getting the calls and so forth.
Well,
So what we do on that is we just say, you know, we're taking orders, and either contact, I provide my phone number and my email, and then they could just contact me directly.
yeah, I'd wonder where it's, in Plainfield, I seen all those on those poles in Plainfield, wondered where they came from.
Yeah, they go from Carr Road all the way past Stan Jones, and then Brownsburg, they're completely
Yeah.
through the town on 136.
Do you know how many banner things we've got up?
I'm not sure. I wanna say 18, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, that's what Danville had. Danville, I don't know about that. I think because the Republican newspaper comes out of there and people see it more.
Yeah.
But we've had a waiting list for this year, and then going into next year, we have a waiting list. So some of the towns only have, like Amo only has 6. We've got 4 of those taken if we get permission. North Salem has 12 of their own. But what I understand is they said that Duke Energy owns some of those. So they'll have to get permission from them, and I think we just got their permission. I think there's 6 taken. And the same thing in Plainfield. We needed more banners there, or more poles. So they went to Duke Energy and asked permission to use their poles right in front of their business. And they were granted that. So, are there any other questions or?
Any questions?
I think it's a good idea.
I do.
Absolutely, I'm 100% for this.
So what are the dates that you said that they go up?
They went
Yeah.
up Memorial Day week,
Okay,
and then they come down, they're up for a year, is what they are.
okay.
We started a little bit earlier this year because 2020 has been memorable. And so we had to cut short a little bit, when they were gonna go up. So we're kind of pushing against a deadline with our printer, because what happened was the printer got slammed with all the requests from the hospitals and the doctor's office and the clinics and the stores and retails for printing, which was priority with the coronavirus. So, and our plan this year was, in April, the county fairgrounds they were allowing us to use one of their big exhibit rooms. And we were gonna have all the banners hung and have a reception for the people to come and see them. Well, we had to cancel that. So depending on how 2021 goes, we hope to be able to do that again. But as I said, it was very emotional for these people to see these banners. I mean, they called and they were crying and when they saw them. And to be honest, I saw these things in my sleep. But when my dad's and my husband's went up, it was a little emotional.
Well, let me ask you another question on the banners. I'll just theoretically say we were gonna put up 40 banners. But we don't have 40 people that are either veterans or in the active military or something. Can other small towns around, because we've got Hazelwood, Belleville, and Cartersburg still have
Absolutely.
Clayton addresses. They could-
Absolutely.
Okay.
And when we first started out, we said, well, you know, we want to service connection with the communities in the county. Well, then someone was saying, well, I want to buy for my dad and I want to buy for my son, or my husband and my son, but I'd like to buy one for my dad, but he's not from here. How are you going to deny a veteran or an active military? So we just made it by connection. They have a family member here. Today we got a call from a business in Plainfield, and they're all the employees are taking up a collection, and they're buying 8 banners for their employees that are veterans. So, yeah. And you know, there's no guarantee if you have like 40 poles or 12 poles. There's no guarantee that we would fill those.
Yes.
But, you know, we have the capacity, we need to know the capacity going in so that we have a cutoff limit that when they're full.
Now, do you require that they stay up for a year? And my question really is, since we have just a few poles,
Mhm.
and we do have banners that we put up like for Christmas, so can those come down? So
As
that
long
we can
as
put
we-
up Christmas?
Yes, as long as we know that so that we can let the people know that. The same thing in Danville, theirs are coming down, they're starting to take them down this week. They will put up their Christmas banners and then our banners will go back up in January.
Okay.
And that's fine. We just need to know that because we don't want someone calling and saying, you know, my banner's down, you
Yeah.
didn't tell me I'm paying for a year and you're only giving me 9 months or whatever,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I like the idea.
Any other questions on banners? All right, do we have a consensus on Clayton wants to move forward with this and give
Yeah.
permission?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you
Okay,
very
we have a
much.
consensus.
Thank you.
We're-
Who do I contact, who do I call then to start working with them? We'll start right away. Do I call you?
I mean, if you're wanting to post on Facebook, I would be the one. Dave would take care of posting it on our website.
Okay,
So, I mean, that's
okay.
wherever
And do you have
wanna
a,
start
do you have
with.
a card or some? I think, cause I sent emails, I think, and they bounced back and I think I
Yeah.
called, are you Jenny?
Yes.
I think I called you and
Yeah,
you
I talked
put
to
me
you.
on the schedule, yeah.
We can, what is your email address and I'll
Let
contact.
me just give you a card and then
Okay,
if you wanna call
That'll
me.
work, I'll just
Okay.
contact you with.
Which I noticed there's some glitch on our website with our email
The email
addresses.
Yeah, they all bounced back,
They're all
because I
wrong.
sent a cover
They
letter.
have some weird, it doesn't say at townofclayton.us anymore, it has
Fud Pup or something like that.
It's,
some bizarre long code thing that, I'm like, and that's where, when the state
Give me one of
Yes.
your.
IDEM inspected our
Thank you.
wastewater treatment plant, they tried to email
I
me
eat
at that
breakfast while I got
website that was
bread,
on
you know,
there.
my
Oh,
God,
okay.
make some money.
Yeah.
Great,
That was
yeah,
where that
any,
came from.
anybody,
Yeah.
yeah,
We were-
thank you.
You know what it is? It's a spam deterrent,
Oh, okay.
on there, so bots can't crawl our website and just pick up email addresses and then email it. So something has gotten off with the code behind that, and I'll fix that.
Okay,
Sorry
thanks.
about that. I
Yeah,
didn't.
cause even when you click on it and it takes you directly to, like, to open up an email,
Yeah.
it gives you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you very much,
Yeah,
I do
thank you.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate you
look
coming
forward
and
to working
talking
with
to
you.
us. Yeah, excellent, alright.
That may have happened with.
It's been like that for a while, cause the auditor was having trouble.
Somebody should tell me.
Maybe, we don't mind letting the auditor follow around with that, but anyway.
Did you want the auditor to contact you?
It didn't work, did it?
Alright, next item on business, signature for Keystone Maintenance Contract for 2021.
This is a yearly contract in order to keep the programs going.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on here, this is actually kind of a dual one, Clayton Business Association. And I also emailed about the kind of idea of a, welcome to Clayton, type of a system. And, what got me thinking about it was my wife and I were talking about when we moved to Indiana, the Indiana Chamber of Commerce sent us a welcome packet, like with some maps and points of interest in the state and those kinds of things, as well as some coupons about, you know, with businesses that advertise with them. And so I was talking with George a little bit. His mom used to run the Clayton Business Association years ago.
Yep.
And so it's kind of, my idea was to try and get that kick-started back up and see if we can't get businesses working together in town, to help, you know, just with welcoming new people into town, getting information out about our meetings here, as well as our planning and zoning, Board of Zoning Appeals, which, you know, we've, been doing quite a lot of, town business in the planning and zoning, advisory board and such, lately, as well as our work with, this group on wastewater treatment plants and other things. So I thought the more we get people in the community kind of aware of who our businesses are, the businesses working together, that would just, again, foster a closer, tight-knit community, more welcoming, those kinds of things. So those were, I emailed you guys about that idea of maybe putting together a little gift packet. Businesses that are in town that wanna advertise in that, they would be putting money into it, so all the money that it would take to put together that packet would just come out of those advertising fees that the businesses pay into it, the ones that wanna participate. So those are just my thoughts. Didn't really have a formal kind of look to this yet. It was just something I wanted to bounce off the group and see what you guys thought.
How does the Chamber of Commerce work for like towns? There's a, you know, Chamber of Commerce for Plainfield or whatever. Is that something that could be established out here? I mean, I like your idea. I'm just curious how that would that compete with Chamber of Commerce or?
Well, I mean, what I looked it up, a Chamber of Commerce, like the Plainfield Chamber of Commerce, is a nonprofit organization. So they're a 501c3 organization, and they file, you know, stuff with the IRS, and then they put together, they have membership. So like a business association wouldn't necessarily have a membership where a Chamber of Commerce might. So, but yeah, they do similar kinds of ideas.
So this is basically kind of something just below that, running below that kind of level
A
of
low
service.
key
Yeah,
Chamber of Commerce kind of an idea.
I think it's a good idea.
But we have lots of businesses, and now we're getting some newer businesses in town. So I didn't know if that would be, I mean, we got a florist up the street here, we got auto, you know, maintenance places, we got firearms sales.
It'd be good to have a directory of like the services or anything.
Yeah, and so if we had something like that together, each time, you know, a house is sold and new people move in, we could send them this. Here's when our town council meets, you know, here's when planning and zoning meets or whatever, and then, oh, by the way, here's where Lambert Park's at. And I mean, we do a good job with Lambert Park. A lot of people love using that facility. And I thought just another, you know, tidbit about how great, you know, our park is and the facilities we have there. So those were some of my ideas, I guess.
I think it would probably be beneficial if we put something like on our town page or Facebook or something that would ask if people would participate in something like that. Cause we have had two different, Clayton Community Association, and we did have a Clayton Merchants Association. And just for lack of participation, they both defunct. So I would think if we could send out some kind of questionnaire to see if you can get more than 2 or 3 businesses that would participate in coming to meetings or doing, you know, money making things or whatever it all would entail.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We've set out like an interest, level of interest, survey. We can put something together on SurveyMonkey and put it on our website and
Yeah.
Facebook page.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, get feedback.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know George has talked to his mom and she was gonna put together some things for me. Maybe I could ask her some input on types of questions that would be good for an interest survey, or if any of you had some ideas as well, you know.
Do you have information on the members of the two former groups that you were talking about? Anyone?
I can look and see if I still have anything.
Yeah, it'd be good, maybe we can just directly reach out to those folks too. So, okay.
I don't know if any of that information that I gave you,
What's that? I didn't-
remember that, the thing that we had a thing done for the town about 15 years ago? I gave you some booklets that had, suggestions of signage and lighting and,
I'm sure that's in my office.
yeah. I don't know if that has the list of people that was in that,
Who was in the,
the Clayton Merchants Association, cause that was part of,
it might be.
yeah. I'll look and see if I can find the list.
Alright, any other thoughts or questions on that? Alright, we will work on those questions or ideas over the next month or so, okay? The wastewater treatment plant, underwent an inspection in early October. The IDM inspector found several areas where we were unsatisfactory, and, they sent us a little report, and then they, because of our unsatisfactory rating, they requested a, response on what we're going to do to fix that. A lot of the, I think there were 5 unsatisfactory points, and 3 of them were specifically related to the collection system and I&I, the influx, of water into our sewer system, when it rained or other types of issues. So the good news was, responding to that was fairly easy with our plan, that GRW has already given us to repair or inspect and then repair that, which we're working on with getting our, Indiana Finance Authority, SRF loan. So I felt like that was at least kind of a nice relationship there real quick of, we've been working on trying to figure out how to fix some of our collection system issues, and so what he deemed us on has to do with that, and so we were able to submit that as part of our response. So I emailed everybody our formal response. Did anybody have any questions on that information about the wastewater treatment plant inspections?
Do we, will there be a follow-up inspection, or will there be, another scheduled inspection? Yeah.
I don't know, is that typical, George? I've not,
Yeah,
dealt with this
it's-
before myself.
Yeah, it's unannounced and at their disposal to do it whenever they want.
Okay.
So, yes, there'll be
And,
more.
and this
because
one
it's-
was like just unannounced?
It's just,
too.
yeah, it's just random, they just show up and ask how come you haven't, fixed A or B or whatever the case might be.
Okay.
In this case, it happened to be that, how come you still have the I&I issue?
Yeah. All right.
Which
And
we did invite the inspector to come back and talk to us, because when he did his inspection, nobody was here. So he didn't say, hey George, I'm gonna be there in a half an hour, can you meet me? He just showed up, got into the wastewater treatment plant through Mr. Penner's property.
Correct.
Did his inspection, which he's allowed to have access to it anytime he wants. So that wasn't our issue. We thought just let us know and we'll, you know, we'll have somebody there to
Right.
walk with you through the plant. So we're hoping that he'll take us up on a meeting and come back out and talk to us face to face so that, you know, we can, maybe see how that would play out better next time with having somebody here, but. Any other thoughts or questions on that inspection or our response? Okay. All right, so planning and zoning, we have, George has been gracious enough to be on our planning and zoning board, advisory board for
Day
17
one.
years or so.
Yeah.
And,
Day one forever.
he wants to step aside and not do that for a time.
Yeah.
So, we need to work on making sure that we have a full planning and zoning advisory board. Also, our board of zoning appeals is missing some members, so we're just looking for some members. I know our crossing guard, Sandy Rollins, her husband Kevin is interested in joining the planning and zoning, so
Great.
he will probably be able to step in and fill some shoes when George leaves. So that's at least one person that I've found in the time since our meeting. But I didn't know if anybody else had ideas of other people that they know in town that might be willing to be on a board of zoning appeals. We only have 2 members here on the meeting at the beginning of the month, and there's supposed to be 5 people on that board, so I need at least 3. So anybody have any names they can suggest?
I would like to talk to a couple of my neighbors, I think
Okay.
they might be willing to be on. And I can get those names to you after I don't wanna throw their name out,
Okay, sure.
and then, are you leaving for good, or?
No, I mean, I'm running a sewer plant and everything, so I'm around to help out or do whatever, but
Okay,
just let somebody else, just take a break for a little bit.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
And technically, George was, when he was appointed that, was supposed to be appointed to a 4-year
Right.
term
Yeah.
on the planning and zoning advisory
It
board.
just kept going
As
and
with-
going
It's 4 leap years.
Yeah,
Everybody
that's right.
else
Didn't
on
realize.
that board, they've just kind of been on there, and some of them don't even remember when they were asked to be on there, but
Yeah.
it's a 4-year stint, so, and we're supposed to alternate, just like our board does,
Uh-huh.
alternates with, you know,
Yeah,
seats
it's a
and
challenge,
stuff.
you know, like we were saying a while ago, just getting people interested and letting them know that, the opportunities are there to participate and get them, active in it, so hopefully me stepping aside will get somebody else in the town active that can participate and just give them an opportunity as well,
Okay,
yeah.
excellent. All right. Any other questions on that? Next item is transfer of funds.
This is a transfer to pay for the sign, the 20,000 that we have to put down. I think it's 20, about that.
Somewhere in there.
Because we've used the money out of the purchase and renovation for this room, and we haven't gotten anything back yet. So I'm transferring $15,000 from the grant fund match, which we're not using this year, to do the sign. And then, Matt has two
Two cameras I wanted to put up. I want to replace the cameras at this facility and then at this wastewater plant. With
so
some
that's,
newer, more modern
yeah.
technology, works a little better.
that's coming out of court costs, cause we had $5,000 in court costs and we haven't used any of that yet. So that's $2,400 to buy those, and then he fixed my thing to get in, cause it only stayed on for 3 seconds,
Yeah.
and people couldn't, they were jerking on the handle and couldn't get in, so he switched that, and it's a lot better.
It's
And then
20
he's got one for the sewer plant, camera, but it'll come out of sewer plant money. So that's what the transfer of funds is.
Okay. And
These
total
cameras have a
transfer?
10-year warranty. They're a lot. I mean, it's researching is a lot easier. You can actually put faces into it, and it'll send you a notification. So if we trespass somebody from a property, it would send an alert. if the inspector showed up on the property, it would send us an alert potentially down the wastewater plant, so it's just a lot better technology. The cameras we have right now are probably about 10 years old, I think.
Somebody
Pretty
will
close.
get down there and steal the septic.
That's right.
Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
so, I, need a motion then for us to approve the transfer funds.
I'll make a motion that we transfer the funds.
Alright, Dave's first,
I'll second.
okay, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Okay, transfer of funds approved. Alright, next item I have on is George to talk about both planning and zoning and the sewer plant
And BZA.
and BZA.
Even though I'm not on there, I'll be the liaison. So the first one I have is the minor subdivision that Anthony and Heather Moran presented to the board, and we voted on it and found in favor of that, so I need to present that to the town board and make it official, and then Dan would be able to move forward with it. So they're wanting to rezone the property next to the park down there. They're gonna put 3 parcels on it and make them available to buy those properties, and then someone would build a house on it. The plans and everything they have would make it very conducive to what the properties adjacent to that are. The housing addition right there around it and everything. So we voted on that as a favorable, and need to present that to the town. So any questions on wheres and whys?
Yeah, so that's do they own the entire area behind their home over to
Correct.
Lambert and then over to
To the Michigan Road.
Michigan Road?
Yes.
So are they is it something that's gonna be
It's on, it's
within that
directly,
property, or is it gonna face out to Michigan Road, or?
yeah, the road frontage would be Michigan Road.
Okay,
And then it would, the depth is, I don't know the exact depth, is it a couple hundred feet or something, so it's not the whole property. It's from Michigan Road back to what those other general houses are right in there.
okay,
And there'd be
Okay.
3 parcels.
so they'll be tying into our sewer and
Yes,
and all that?
yes,
Okay. And it's just residential,
correct,
single family,
yes.
okay.
So I think, because we're
So
an
the
advisory
planning and
board, it
zoning-
has to be voted on by the town to make it official.
And then, what type of, is there any information about the type of home that they're wanting to build, or?
Yeah, do you have that
Brick-
information,
brick
Dan, on
ranches.
the houses that they presented and that, plans?
There will be restrictions on the type based on what zone that
How it's
the
zoned.
planning and zoning
Yeah.
Right.
board is,
And is there gonna be any anticipation of them asking for any kind of variance on lot lines, or?
No, everything falls in the guidelines,
Okay.
for
Where's
this.
the microphone? I don't wanna throw my papers down. There's a description there, restrictions that he's putting on them, or requirements, basically.
I've seen.
You've seen, I thought
Yes.
that.
probably have it, let's see what that planning and zoning.
Basically, they're 15,000 square foot lots, 3 of them facing Michigan Street, built basically to blend in with Gilbert Woods, built to that style of brick, single family homes.
Did they have to, this is just a general question on my own knowledge, do they have to ask the neighboring properties, their input or anything, do they have to get any kind of approval of that?
Didn't they send out notices? He's asking about the notices to be able to do this to the surrounding homes.
So there was a public
Yeah.
notice.
No,
and
public
the whole
meeting
nine
and
yards.
everything.
They
Okay.
Yeah,
notified all
It's
the
the first time-
residents around them.
Yeah.
It's the first
I have
I've heard of
all
it, that's why I'm
information
asking the
here. We have
questions.
copies of deeds, that they basically done everything they need to do.
basically following our guidelines that are already outlined in the book and everything, so,
Okay.
yeah, they checked all the boxes. All the work was done.
And so at this time, the planning and zoning advisory board is recommending to
Recommending the-
approve this,
Minor subdivision.
Minor
Minor
subdivision, right,
that they're putting in.
correct.
Okay, any other questions for planning and zoning from this board?
make a motion that we accept it.
Okay, John's first motion,
I'll second.
alright, second, all in favor, say aye. All opposed? Okay, motion passes on the first minor subdivision.
Okay, thank you. All right, the second one is, the BZA, met the same night that we had our, meeting going. And they had a variance come before them, it's for William and Della Darnell. And they had a, 2-car garage and they wanna increase it to a 3-car garage, on the property. So those, individuals met and they also came up with a favorable recommending that the, board accept that variance to put that up. And, Dan, do you have the actual location of where that's?
169 Crawford Street.
So,
And just for everybody's information who wasn't there, the reason they have to apply for a variance, this garage will be much larger than their residence, and the zone that they live in says it can't be. So they had to apply for this variance saying, we want to be able to have a garage that's 3-car garages, even though it's gonna be bigger than our house.
Yeah.
So,
and it was originally 2-car, so.
any questions for George on this variance? And it's the recommendation of the Board
It was
of
a recommendation
Appeals
that it
to
be
accept
passed.
this variance and,
Correct.
okay,
Yes.
I make a motion to accept.
alright, first motion, and any second?
I'll second.
Okay, second motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Okay,
Okay, I'll take my hat off as, zoning then and go back to the sewer plant. So everything's running well at the plant. I shut down the, south tank as we noted in the, document that we sent back to the state. The one plant, or the one tank's handling everything nicely right now, so, all's well. And we took care of the other deficiencies that they mentioned out there at the plant. So that's been taken care of. The other thing that was on the plan from last week was, or last month was the vacation. Was you
I
gonna-
talked to the auditor many times, and, and I was reading your contract, and I don't see anything in your contract that says you can't get paid for not taking your vacation. So I think we just need to read your contract better and figure out how we can get around it.
Okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. That would be much appreciated. So is that something we have to vote on, or just work with you and we'll,
Yeah, we'll just figure it out and.
okay. So everyone, so any questions on the sewer plant? It's getting cold back down there, but if you wanna come down and visit, boy, let me know. It gets really cold in the winter time, so wrap up. Alright, thanks.
thank you.
Uh-huh.
Alright, Dan, you're next on the agenda.
I got nothing. No, I'm kidding. We did close on the bond anticipation note on Tuesday. We received the funds today. Jenny needs to establish a sewer works construction account at North Salem State Bank. And in order to do that, she needs a favorable recommendation by the plant, or by the council, right? It's gotta be in the minutes that they're approving this account to be established. And then, once that account is established, we have 3 invoices. The first one is from Baker Tilly, who is our financial advisor, for $20,000. We have an invoice from Barnes and Thornburg, who's our bond counsel, for $25,500. And we have an invoice for $3,000 from Bose, McKinney and Evans, which is the bank's counsel, which we've all agreed to pay in the bond documents. So
And it comes out of the 400,000 that we just
comes out
got.
of the bank. So,
But before we can spend that, we have to make this separate account.
Yes. They've already opened the account,
Okay,
and I got Leanne's, signature, mine and hers. And so I'll take it back down tomorrow, and they're gonna give me a couple of, checks to go ahead and pay these guys. But it needs to be in the minutes that the new account was approved by the town council.
Okay, so, it doesn't sound like we need a vote, though, we just need a consensus on that, then to agree that, so, do we have a consensus that we're agreeing that this account should be made
Yep.
and used for the band?
Yes.
The
Yes.
bond. Band.
Then we need,
Okay, huh?
we also need a consensus that we're gonna
Pay those-
Pay these 3 extra claims, yeah.
out of those proceeds.
So consensus that we're paying 20,000, 25,000 and 3,000.
2550 and 3,000.
25, yeah.
And we will still, owe Graham, out of that too, but we're not sure what the amount is at this point. So we'll
Okay.
have to wait until he's back.
Okay. Alright,
And since you make a motion to pay the bills at the beginning, I think you probably need to make a motion to pay
okay,
the 58.5, 48.5.
okay, let's make a motion on that then.
I'll make a motion that we pay the 3 bills out of the new account.
Alright, that's our first.
I'll second.
Okay, got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Is that it?
Well, the only other things I have is, our PAMP, pavement asset management plan update has been submitted and approved by NDOT. And, NDOT said no to a flashing light at the school zone. They're gonna move the school zone sign on the north side and put it in another location. They think it needs to be in a different place, but they didn't think we needed the flashing light. And I sent you guys an email, their response on that, so. Basically what they said is our own police department needs to slow the traffic down.
I know Purdue did a study about those flashing lights at school zones and they found that the flashing lights did not make a difference.
They don't.
That
I
that was
stand on
what-
the road every morning in North Elementary.
I was surprised.
They don't make-
I would have thought they would make a difference, but they said they didn't.
They don't make a difference.
I know working for EMS, they always told us that, you know, your lights probably create more of a distraction than anything, and
Yeah.
so, I don't know, it's,
We've had them up there for about 4 years, and I don't think it makes a difference at all.
okay.
People
But
still.
they are moving that north sign a little bit closer to the school so that people don't have road weariness.
Yeah, forget about it once
Right.
they get by it.
They speed up through there with my car out there with the flashing lights. I mean, it's this. People don't pay attention. That's the biggest problem.
I know I hear from Sandy Rollins a lot that she gets worried about traffic on 39 when she's crossing kids, but
There's some things we could potentially do to help her with, like maybe a lit up stop sign. They make those LED now that actually light up the whole stop arm. Handheld thing lights up.
that she would hold,
Yeah, the handheld stop
Mhm.
Yeah.
sign. They make those in LED now. I just ordered some.
oh, okay.
They're about $300 a piece. And it's rechargeable and it lights up really bright. So there's some things that we could do to help improve that.
So can we buy one of those for Sandy then, and
Sure.
for her crossing?
I could definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
if
it
you don't
wor-
mind.
Is it, I'm just curious, is it worse in the morning or in the afternoon when they're going home?
It's probably the same if I was to guess.
I think it'd be more visible in the morning, cause it stays darker.
As far as speeding vehicles that we're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
But having the extra lighting on the sign does make a difference.
Okay, yeah, if you don't mind providing Jenny
I can get a
You know,
quote,
where
I can get
to
an invoice
get
from
one
the
of those.
lady I just ordered some from.
buy her a $300 sign.
Yeah, cause there's some trash trucks go through town every day, the semis
I
fly.
know, and they go through up there.
Yeah.
I know, they're the same ones, it's bad.
I know that,
And there's been a lot of the concrete trucks, just working down there on 39
Yeah,
all day long flying through here, so. But I know if you call them, cause that Bill Proctor used to live down there, he was the guy that
Dispatcher?
dispatched the thing. And I told him one day, so next thing I know, they were slowing down. So,
Yeah.
in a case like that, I think you could just call IMI and say, hey, can you have your boys slow down?
Yeah. I'll let Officer Linden know, and Officer Grab, they work during the day more than I do, so I can let them know too. But we're not in school right now until after January, I think.
After when?
I think it's around January something when they go back. They're out
Mill
until
Creek,
yeah,
Mill Creek's supposed to go back November the 30th, but that doesn't mean they will.
yeah, okay. November 30th.
We kind of morphed out of Dan's into Matt, but were you done, Dan?
Yes.
Okay, so, anything else, Chief?
The only other thing, Halloween went well. We had a lot of people out, and we had a lot of speeding cars out for some reason. I stopped quite a few cars, and I'm not sure what that was all about, but I had one of them doing 68
Oh
in
my.
front of the flower shop.
Oh.
Yeah, at 5:45.
Were you having sale?
I was just gonna
No,
say.
but I'll tell you,
Are you delivering?
I hear 'em going past.
Yeah, that was the fastest I've had in a long time on that, in that
Yeah.
area. It was ridiculous.
Well, I'm thinking about learning sign language, cause when I back out of my driveway to head south, people come flying up there around me and then they give me some kind of signal, I don't know what I can.
So, there was a lot of people out there. It was nice to see people out,
Yeah.
walking around, and had good weather, and everybody was safe, and it was good, so.
We had more trick-or-treaters this year than we've had in 5 years.
Yeah, there was quite a few people out all
Mhm.
throughout
We
town.
had 17.
Alright.
The houses
I
are further
noticed-
apart, they normally hit Gilbert Woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Notice on Western Avenue, there's a speed limit sign. I was wondering what your thoughts were about if we start looking at posting speed limit signs on other streets. I know Kentucky seems to be getting bad also with those speeders that just seem to, when they turn that corner by George's
Right.
mom's house, they just accelerate all the way up
Sure.
until they
Yeah.
get to the stop sign
It's
by
a
30
quarter-mile track.
and it's like, and then they slam on their brakes as they're going too fast.
Well, the one good thing about having the signs, if you do stop them, then you can enforce it, but if you don't have the sign, you can't give them a ticket.
You can, but you can only enforce, if it's not posted, it would be 30
Yeah.
mile an hour speed limit, so.
Cause you had that ordinance that you showed me last year and it has the speed limits on all the different streets in town.
Right.
I didn't know if everybody else thought maybe this would, be worthwhile.
I think it would be, it's just a
Goodbye
matter of
signs.
getting it in the proper place, the right place. I mean, over there, we'd have to just look at it and see where the best spot where it'd be most effective. So if your problem are people turning on off of Western onto Kentucky and going eastbound, I would probably put it a little past that, maybe just past probably a little west of your house. On the south side of the road is where I would put it. If you like it couldn't hurt.
Yeah, I didn't know if others.
I think do we still have signs?
that.
Do we have to purchase some?
What's that?
Do we have speed limit signs, or would we have to purchase some if we put one up on Kentucky Street?
We have signs right now.
So, yeah. I don't think it would
The
hurt.
plan was to replace them all. We bought enough to do half this year and then thought we'd do the other half next year. So we have them.
I would say, yeah, I would do it. I mean, it's not gonna hurt, and like, we can sit out there and enforce it too if it's posted. Then that does make it easier.
So would everybody else be okay with Matt coming up with a location to put signs in town and then you get that information to Dan and then he can,
I'll just go on the
Coordinate.
weekend and mark it on a map. We can give it to Pete.
and then put up those signs?
Does that need to be done by ordinance or?
Put up the speed limit sign?
The speed zones are already done by ordinance.
Right.
So I think you can post the sign wherever. I don't think it has to be.
You can post the stop sign wherever?
No, the speed limit
Speed
sign.
limit sign?
Yeah.
Cause the speed limit's already established by our ordinance,
Right.
Yeah.
and that was passed 2 years
Just
ago.
adding signs, I don't think, speed limit
So-
signs.
Flashing lights in school zones don't work, do speed limit signs? What's
No,
the
it makes it
difference on that?
easier to enforce it though when it's posted.
But if it's not posted, you can't enforce it.
No, we can. We can, it's just,
Just
just some shrewd person would go to court with their lawyer and say there was nothing posted there, so.
If it's not posted, then it defaults to 30, no matter what the ordinance says, it doesn't matter because it's not posted. So we have to at least post it to make it enforceable.
You actually have to write a ticket though, don't you?
We do.
Okay, any other thoughts on that? Anything else from you, Matt?
No.
Okay, alright, Chief Moffitt, you're next.
Well, a little bit busier in October than the previous month, which is good. I mean, it's still about average from what we do. We brought on 2 new part-time guys, filling some hours that we were having some trouble filling. But, we're all squared away there. We're gonna purchase a new ambulance this month. Just waiting on the TIF payment, but we're gonna make the purchase. We already got our bid and everything. So it's about a 250-day build to delivery time, so it's still a little bit of time before we'll get it in service, but other than that, we're just keeping an eye on all the COVID stuff. There's been an increase in COVID patients at the hospital, so we're just staying in contact with like Hendricks and them and getting their data, and just we learned from this first round, and we stocked up on supplies, so we're pretty confident we're ready, because there's probably going to be an increase throughout the cold months and stuff. So, and we'll just pay attention to the governor and his guidelines and kind of follow that as guidance. So that's about it. That's all I got.
I know on Monday at the hospital, they told us we had 38 admitted patients with the COVID,
Oh, wow.
our IUS, so our numbers are climbing back up again.
Yeah.
Alright, good luck, stay safe
Thanks.
out there. Alright, not on the agenda, but Leanne, did you wanna talk about your contest for the seal?
Yes, we've discussed, that we need to have a seal or something put on the wall back here, and then it'd be nice to have one for, you know, all of our, letterheads and different things like that. So, came up with a contest, and the requirements, and I think the one thing that is probably on, or a couple of things that I don't have on the contest, is how much money we can give to a person that wins the contest. I had kind of looked online at different towns, and it seems like $150 to $200 is what their prize money is. And thinking that if we got this right out, that maybe the deadline could be December 31st, so that we could have a new seal then the first of next year.
Okay.
I thought we could send some, put this on the website, and then maybe even send this to like the schools, high school, and I don't know if there would be middle school children that would
And then
be artistically inclined.
what's your plan for voting on a winner?
Well, I
We
had
haven't-
thought it would be us that would all kind of
Mm-hmm.
look at it. Maybe even give it to the planning commission for them to vote on a winner.
Okay.
And there's money in the promotional that we can use. There's like $850 there. Not that they're gonna get $850.
No,
but there
I
is
Yeah.
money there.
I had thought $200
Yeah,
would
that sounds
probably,
good.
and this, says that, where is it that I had seen that? That if they submit a design, that becomes property of the town. So,
Yeah,
Okay.
I should probably note that.
Covering your legal basis.
Yeah.
Alright,
That is a great idea.
I did too.
okay, so does anybody have any, thoughts or changes on this, printout for the contest and what we're gonna, this is what we'll submit.
I have extra copies of that if anybody wants to, you just wanna see it, Dan?
And we're okay with no matter who submits it, cause actually one of
Dan.
the best ones we
Dan.
could possibly get, so.
Here's your other.
If it was a professional, we would be okay.
Good.
Not that, I'm just saying.
George, do you wanna,
Like the art
would you
teacher
think that the,
or something like
the,
that.
planning
Like the
commission would
art teacher
wanna
or
judge
something.
that, or?
Yeah,
Possibly,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
And that might
Yeah.
be good
if
too.
it, like an art teacher wants to submit it,
Yeah,
she's probably gonna do a
Yeah,
fantastic job, so
anybody
it doesn't
can.
really matter. I'm just wanna make sure everyone knows it doesn't have to be a town citizen.
I'll put it on the,
Yeah,
I'll put it on the December sewer bill too.
okay. Yeah, I don't think it would have to be a resident of Clayton. I mean, it could be somebody from Hazelwood or Amo or,
Okay.
Very good. Alright, so we're all agreed that this is contest we're starting and we'll post this on our Facebook, our website. Do we wanna put this in the Republican or is that going too far?
I don't know if we need to do that. One other question I had on it. They're submitting their final product, it's not like a concept and then we vote on it and then they'll submit a final product.
yeah, I think it's something that's completed, cause it's in full color and
Okay.
the size of, they can do it in watercolor, oils, digital.
Alright.
So I would say, yes, it's a finished
It's the finished product.
product,
Yeah. Okay.
Do you think we, like, say they submit something that we like the concept of it, but we wanna clean up, like, on mine, I couldn't get the arch of my town of Clayton to match the arch of the circle.
Right,
So, which you picked up on that,
Yeah.
that doesn't fit. Cause I couldn't get it
and
to
well, like,
change, I
right,
couldn't, I'm a
right.
publisher, I have no idea how to
Yeah.
do that. So, if we get something like that, and we say, we want this concept, but we wanna fix the lettering, or we wanna fix,
Well,
we
more,
have the rights to do that.
a better example might be some of the pictures that you use, they kinda got pixelated in the,
Sure,
and so, what I'm saying is, if they submit, let's just say someone submitted what you submitted. The images that they use should be the high res images that look nice, rather than just some things that they found on the web and splashed in there. Does that make sense?
right.
So in other words, that's
So
why,
you wanted to put an extra, dot here that would say something like
the finished,
camera ready product or,
well, it would just need to be the final finished product or concept, not a draft.
right.
You've got it covered right there, all submissions become the property of the town of Clayton. It's yours to do with,
Oh,
change whichever way you want,
So,
legally,
yeah.
so.
I guess if we tweaked it, we would still give them credit for being a winner.
Yeah.
But we're just having a finishing touch to it. So I wouldn't, okay. Very good. Alright, and then, were these something else?
Well, yeah,
Leanne,
that
or-
was something else that I kinda wanted to bring up. I was hoping that possibly we could come up with something, I know it's pretty close really to Christmas, but, to get like a Santa's mailbox, to put out in the front of the, outside of the building. And, possibly get somebody like Trey Kappa or one of the churches to, keep track of it, you know, to maybe come up with some kind of a letter to send, you know, like a response to children who,
We do that at Danville for the Kiwanis Club does it at Danville.
So
They reply to all the letters.
I had checked with, the post office to see if they ever like decommission their mailboxes, to where we could maybe get a used mailbox and have it painted and everything,
I think that's what
but they don't.
Danville got something they put on the square. I don't know where they got it from now, but they have a mailbox they put up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I just thought that might be something kinda nice to have out in front of the building, maybe on the corner or something. Kids could drop off letters to Santa and if we could get a.
You know what we could do? We could have the kids at the high school do it, write the response letters, like the student council or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
cause I was
Because
just
that's who
thinking that
replies
if
to
we
most
could
of
get
ours.
somebody else involved in it.
I would ask the student council to send responses. Just take them over there and they can knock them out in a day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Miss Flint, what was Miss Flint? She always did something over there at the high school with Christmas and
Yeah.
needy children and things. Was that Honor Society?
I'm not sure,
Could be.
possibly.
So, yeah, I just figured we'd get some other community organization or something that would take over. Maybe it would get the community more involved in the town, so.
Yeah.
But if you could find out, the only thing I could come up with was to think that maybe,
Did you look online?
I did, and you know, you can't find anything. The stuff that I found was all cardboard stuff.
Yeah, you want something more permanent.
So, or little, you know, decorations. I couldn't find anything that would be a sturdy outdoor.
I don't know where those came from.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
If you could check into that, cause I would have no idea how much it would cost us to get some sort of a mailbox.
I don't know either.
Well, doesn't anybody know how to work with wood around here? I mean, it couldn't be that hard to make a little, not that I could do it, but someone could. Make a little mailbox.
Or you can buy them at Lowe's or Menards, a metal mailbox.
I think you might want something that where people can drop them in and
Yeah,
nobody can take
something
them out.
bigger that they could drop it into.
Yeah.
Like, if not, we could decorate the front door and the
Like
little
a
slot.
library box.
The little
Yeah,
slot in the
library
door,
box.
you could put letters to Santa or something on the front door if you can't find anything.
What do they do with their mailboxes? They get rid of it at the post office.
I don't know, I asked them down there,
Did you ask the postmaster?
uh-huh,
Cause he's very friendly.
yeah, he said no, he didn't know that they ever did that.
John, you wanna start?
Alright,
Something
anything
like that.
else from the,
One more thing.
okay, one more thing.
We had talked about this last year, we never got it done, and I wanna try to bring this up again. We need to have pictures taken to be able to put online. And we had kinda talked last year, right around Christmas time, of, if we had somebody come in and take everybody's pictures, either just our own individual pictures or like you and your wife or whatever, so that we could put online and, you know, a little bit more professional looking picture of everybody. And I think we talked about it.
We're gonna
When
have
the
to put the
Christmas tree
Christmas
was
tree on
up.
this side this year.
I don't know what we're gonna do.
We'll have to move that desk. Put it over there. I like that idea of us as a group and individually in front of the Christmas tree and then having that as part of our
Do we want pictures of,
That's what I'm thinking, that
everyone?
everybody needs
Yeah, I
to.
think so.
And so
Not
I
leaving
was
you
just
guys out.
kinda wondering if maybe, December the 10th is our next meeting. If maybe we could get everybody here more like at 6 o'clock. and take pictures and then stay for the meeting.
So are we gonna take those pictures socially distanced with face masks on?
I see what you're getting at, Dan.
In our,
Huh?
I see what you're getting at.
wear our hazmat suit.
I got a couple of things.
Okay.
I was thinking the other day, I was back there behind the fire station. What about next year when we do some blacktopping? If we blacktop behind the fire station and next to the maintenance building and the fire station? Cause that is really sad back here.
I'm actually looking at getting that worst place back there patched, but I got an estimate,
Yeah.
a proposal to redo the parking lot behind the fire station for $30,000.
And then I thought maybe between the two buildings there where the trucks park and stuff.
Would we be patching and paving the area that's not ours?
Pardon?
No,
Would we be,
Some of that
some of that
parking
lot-
space is owned by the,
Agreed.
Right, we were not gonna do
Agrees.
that part.
yeah. Okay,
That part was not gonna get done. But I'm still, at a minimum, would like to get the worst spot patched this year.
yeah, that's,
I also wanted to add some blacktop where we removed the door, because some water still gets
Yeah.
underneath there, so we need to do something with that. But,
and what do we do with that other table, that big old pretty dark table?
it's in Dan's office.
Oh. Take a nap on that, can't
what's that?
you? You can take a nap on that. That table, that's a,
Oh,
The old conference table, you moved it into your office against that north wall.
I'll tell you what, I stood on that to hang a mat back up. It makes some noise.
Doug still needs to sign
Yeah.
that one.
Anything else, John?
that's it.
Anything else, Dave?
No.
Okay. All right, do I have a consensus that we adjourn?
I'll get a cent.
All right, we are adjourning at 8:30.